country of this nation, there lurks a very strange and usually ignorant brand of beings who claim to be human, claim to be people, claim to be self-sufficient, but are oftentimes not. They are what are normally called hillbillies. Hillbillies, half-human, half-animal hillbillies. A species that is barely above pond scum. Hillbillies. A brand of beings who lack self-awareness, self-respect, and more often than not are completely devoid of normal common sense, normal hygiene, and live like the animals that surround them and often mingle with them. Here at Spazbro, we have developed a completely new line of products in an attempt to help hillbillies learn the common practices of normal humans in regard to cleanliness, hygiene, and self-sufficiency. In this video, we will take a close look at a particular brand of hillbilly. A brand of hillbilly that claims to be people of the woods, claims to be self-sufficient, when in fact they have no ability to survive on their own. These particular hillbillies have not learned how to be self-sufficient, but in fact mooch off of others for their every need. With this new line of Spazbro products, we intend to change all of that. One of the first things a hillbilly must do is learn to grow their own crops. In short, they must learn to become farmers on a smaller scale. However, given enough land, there is the potential to have a very large farm. In the case of Chris and Holly, they must first learn to clean up their land to even have a plot with which to grow anything. The hillbilly must first learn to till the soil. They must learn to use a shovel and actually do physical labor. Meaningful physical labor, and not something just for show. Spazbro's Grow a Farm Handbook is designed just for that purpose. It is a step-by-step handbook complete with instructional pictures. As we know, a written manual for hillbillies would be a complete waste of time. By following the handbook, the hillbilly is taught how to plant and take care of their crops. But as we know, if Chris and Holly were to plant a garden, it would be limited to one crop. Knowing Holly's background, it's not hard to guess what kind of crops would be grown. The next product in this line is also a picture book. In fact, every book is a picture book so they can comprehend the content. We know that hillbillies like to raise animals for their own food, so that they can truly say they are self-sufficient. Hillbillies are known for raising chickens, pigs, squirrels, possums, and sometimes cows. Bodies do need protein in order to function properly. So raising a good supply of animals to provide that protein is a necessity. However, one of the dangers of raising chickens and other small prey are the predators that abound in the wild. Foxes, weasels, hawks, ugly Brits, and loudmouthed skanks are all predators that can endanger the meat sources that are raised. One of the sneakiest and most dangerous of predators is the fox. Foxes and weasels are two of the fiercest enemies of chickens. Therefore, the hillbilly must take every precaution to protect their meat sources from these wild hunters. The hillbilly must always be on guard against these predators. You never know when they will strike. While many animals hunt during the night, there are times when a hungry predator will even dare to strike when the hillbilly's back is turned. One moment of inattention, or when the hillbillies make one trip to the store for beer, the chickens are in danger. The hillbillies may return to see their chicken coop totally ravaged, especially if it is a piece of shit like the building Chris has attempted to build. The normal hillbilly cabin is usually adorned with trophies to emphasize the hillbilly's hunting skills. As with many hunters, they love to display the heads of their victims on a plaque. The living room or den of a hillbilly cabin will proudly display the exploits of the hillbilly's hunting success. Even when one does not have the funds to purchase chickens and other farm animals, the skilled hunter can provide the necessary meat to feed his family. We would have serious doubts as to Chris's ability to feed the family in this manner, however. Along with the knowledge of growing one's own food sources, there is also a chapter covering the maintenance and care of their food in order to propagate good health. Look at these pictures. What is that we see sitting out where flies and other insects have immediate access? Yes, that is butter. Would we say this is proper care of this particular food product? Can you imagine what diseases a person could get from treating butter in this matter? I'm not sure about you, but there's no way we here at Spazbro would touch this butter with a 10-foot pole. To maintain proper health, food products must also be protected in a certain manner. This handbook attempts to remedy the stupidity of such practices. Chapter 12 of the handbook is especially helpful, entitled How to Redo a Crap Building. As stated, it is a pictorial of how to make a decent building out of a crappy built building like the one seen on the Chris and Holly show. This would not even serve as a good chicken coop, much less a habitable building. The before and after pictures in the chapter are especially helpful. Chapter 13 also instructs hillbillies how to dig their own well and water source, saving a lot of money not having to purchase water at the store on a regular basis. The book does not, however, have a chapter on converting one's own urine into drinkable water. However, in this instance, we do not know if the conversion has ever been attempted. Let it suffice to say that we have our doubts. Another important factor when living in the woods is proper hygiene. Hillbillies are famously known for their poor hygiene, and we have seen much evidence of a lack of skills in that area with Chris and Holly. Their faces and bodies are almost always dirty, showing a lack of proper hygiene skills and knowledge. Our product, Hygiene for Hillbillies, is also a pictorial, but with some extras. Spazbro not only supplies the knowledge, but the supplies as well. Since we do not know if Chris and Holly know what these products are, they are supplied along with the manual so proper hygiene can be practiced even in the midst of stupidity. One of the devices with which Chris and Holly may not be familiar with is the toothbrush. This is not just a normal toothbrush, it is a self-brushing toothbrush. Just place it anywhere near your mouth, and it self-generates the toothpaste and brushes your teeth for you. Another item with which they may not be familiar is what normal people call soap. Just like with the toothbrush, the soap also is self-cleaning. Just put the soap anywhere near your body, and the soap gives you a good cleaning. It also comes with a spray bottle to rinse oneself off after a good washing. This clean feeling may be foreign to hillbillies, but if given enough time, the hillbillies will eventually get used to not smelling like a dirty diaper. Another manual in this series, which is vitally important, is the book Hillbilly Cooking. Again, we cannot emphasize how important proper nutrition is, especially when living in the woods. Between the crops grown, if indeed the proper crops are grown, and the meat sources that are raised, it is possible to plan complete, nutritious meals in order to maintain proper health. It is also important to cook nutritious meals at all times, and not just as an act for the camera. Also, we have seen the cooking practices of Chris and Holly, how butter is left out to spoil, and how the cooking pans are not washed when done with one food product and going on to another. This is why when the animals of the forest see Holly begin to cook, they sound the alarm. This can be very dangerous, as it would be very easy to be trampled by the fleeing animals. Another helpful book is for those who claim to be hillbillies but are still addicted to the internet and social media. While they claim to be pioneers and self-sufficient, the internet is still their lifeline for both entertainment and financial support. Without the internet, Chris, Holly, and their son would have starved long ago. Again, it is a complete misnomer for them to call themselves self-sufficient. How can any person claim to be a true hillbilly and a person of the woods when they are still constantly on their phones and computers? This particular book comes with a special surprise. When opened to Chapter 3, it sends out a beam that completely destroys anything that is electronic in nature. This means they can kiss their laptops, phones, and any other electronic equipment goodbye. Then, cut off from the internet, cut off from the lapdogs who support them, they are then forced to truly become hillbillies, and at that point have to learn how to truly be self-sufficient. Being a true hillbilly is an attainable goal. Disclaimer and word of warning. This book is not recommended for simply wannabe hillbillies. This is only for those who are not fake-ass skanks and scammers who are out to play make-believe and pretend, such as we've constantly seen on the Chris and Holly show. The honest truth is, you never saw Jed Clampett or even Jethro with a laptop or cell phone. Granted, those products were not around back then, but even so, Neither of them would have ever been caught dead with a cell phone or laptop. It's possible Ellie Mae might have been an exception to that rule, but we'll never know. The one thing we do know, however, is that Chris and Holly have no desire to be woods people. They only desire to play pretend so they can keep the money flowing in from people who are easily entertained. That is why, just like Jeff and other scammers, once their channel starts dying down, they create a diversion and attempt to sway their followers to another channel as a diversionary tactic. This keeps unsuspecting people from focusing on the truth.